Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing the reading for the collective. Welcome, collective. So I'm going to start with the Kali Oracle cards. Moksha of Kali, number 39. All right. Oh, here we go. Her passionate desire for your liberation is unflagging, and so your relief shall come swiftly. She is speaking to you from within. She's the voice of reassurance. Can you hear her? Do you trust her? Soon you will see things in a better light. You're going to be liberated from the struggle you are currently experiencing. Be true to yourself and your life path, and you will attract the way forward as obstacles disappear. Do not turn away, for you are destined to overcome all opposition, bringing your sacred path to fruition. Wow. All right, collective. Something has definitely been shifting this last week. And as the week's readings have been progressing, it's been near the end of a cycle, getting the last bits of a cycle. So it feels like a progression, a very large releasing and moving forward, moving on, taking the wisdom from whatever has been holding you back and moving forward. All right, the Angelic Lightworker deck card for today is 41, Manifestation Blessings for Progress. Wait, already in the title, it sounds like moving on, manifesting blessings for progress. The soul knows how to manifest money and all resources you need for peace and progress on your life path. Archangel Uriel brings the guidance that your heartfelt desires are not separate from nor in competition with anyone or anything. The fulfillment of your heart supports the liberation of all beings. Let go of the belief that you must constantly fight for what you want and relax into your heart to enhance the naturally magnetic power in your life. There are many ideas for you to bring to fruition and many blessings that can flow through your loving heart for greater good. Stand true in your purpose and expect your path to open up for you. Your increasingly fearless heart will attract increasingly radical abundance and grace. One step at a time, all things will flourish in the goodness of divine grace. Wow. So it looks like what you are clearing is allowing new energy on your path, new prosperity, new blessings in. So once you've processed and felt and accepted and let go of whatever that is that has you've been holding on to, or that has a hold on you, maybe both, a little bit of both. As you let go, it allows the blessings your blessings to come in. All right, the animal totem for today's reading is, well, this is right on track. Butterfly, transformation. Get ready for a big breakthrough. So I'm getting that it feels like out of the cocoon. And you know, when butterflies first emerge out of the cocoon, there's a lot of having to stretch and open their wings and dry everything out and open up. That's kind of where I feel like maybe a little flapping of the wings to kind of get them ready. Kind of where this energy feels. You've been through the energies of the past. You've been through being a caterpillar. You've been in the cocoon. What is that, chrysalis? And you're emerging and ready to spread your wings and start a very different aspect of your life. Same being, caterpillar and butterfly, very, very different states of being. So, collective, since this is a reading, a general reading, and I'm tuning into general energies, not one person specific energies. So take what resonates and leave the rest. If I say something that doesn't fit, that's quite possibly for someone else. Okay, collective. In the past, you were in the energy of control. Maybe you were trying to find balance, find ground, find stability by controlling outside of you. Okay, yes. So it feels like, collective, that you have had a series of maybe cycles of very painful experiences with people near you, whether that's family members, relationships, people at work, friendships, all of the above. Feels like what we're looking at in this reading is how, especially that original painful experience or experiences in childhood created so much wounding, and it created a story about how you feel about who you are. Maybe who you feel, who you've portrayed, who you felt who you are, has a lot more to do with the projections that people have projected onto you, how people view you, and not the view of how you're seeing yourself. Or maybe those projections, how people perceived you, you started believing those projections as the truth about who you are. Whereas I know when I project onto others, I notice it's a way to keep myself safe, a way to push away something that's very uncomfortable and assign it to someone else instead of it, finding where in me is that match. What is it? Why am I so needing to push that energy away and have it embodied in someone else? Maybe because my ego needs me to do that so I'm not bad. So, and then, so really, then that person, you solidify that that person is good or that person is bad, that person is this, that person is that. And maybe in our life, we have solidified, when people project onto us, that is who I am. I am too much. I am not enough. I can't get it right. I'm a burden. I'm always messing up. Whatever those issues. And it feels like there's a wounding around that, around believing it wholeheartedly instead of acknowledging that, when I project out, it's because I'm trying to keep myself safe from acknowledging my part in these uncomfortable feelings or painful feelings or fearful feelings that are coming up. So what people have projected onto me might be a mixed bag. Some of it might be things I'm not willing to see about myself, but a lot of it comes from a place of, it's not me, it's you. And they're just trying to protect themselves from that energy and assign it to me outside of themselves so they feel better. So it feels very illusionary. Like, who are we? We're not some solid being. We're ever changing. And so the more you try to make something solid, make someone solid, they are this. I am this. Maybe that's part of the trying to control, trying to identify and make something solid, and nothing is solid. Everything is changing. All right. So in the past, you've experienced collective a lot of betrayal that you've had to recover from. This betrayal has made you, has created a reaction, a response to betrayal of playing it small and believing how others perceive you as being accurate. And it might feel like this has delayed your progress. This has been an obstacle in your lifetime, just having cycles of betrayal from people who you trusted. So the story might be, I am a victim and I keep getting hurt, and there are monsters out there, people who I trust in the beginning, and then they end up being a monster, or some type of story that has been solid. Maybe that it's time for that story to change, to tell a different story, so you can invite change into your world. Seems like somewhere in the past, someone comes in quickly. Oh, okay. So because of this cycle of pain and betrayal and the storyline of there are people out there and I trust them, or I trust the wrong people, and they end up being a monster, and then I'm stuck in this situation where I'm a victim to someone's horrible behavior. It feels like a fairy tale in a way, like you're a damsel in distress, whether you're a male or female, and there's a monster that you've let into your experience. And so what you need is a knight in shining armor to come rescue you. So again, there's outside of you I need someone to come in and rescue me from this situation and make me all better, make the situation all better. Maybe as a child, there was this dream of someone coming in. Maybe things were painful. Maybe there was a lot of neglect, or not not having parents who knew how to love you and support you in the way that you needed. And so it created a lot of sadness and negativity, maybe cycles of depression. Maybe their lack of care for you growing up informed you on how to take care of yourself. Maybe if you were very neglected as a child and felt very uncared for, then that informed you on how to take care of yourself. So you created a bit of a carelessness. If the people closest to me do not love and care for me and care about what happens to me, then I will match that. And maybe there was some recklessness. Maybe there still is recklessness or carelessness about who you invite into your space, who you invite into relationships, that you care more about how they're perceiving you than how you're perceiving yourself and how you perceive them. Maybe you get lost in the projection. Maybe this is a way of people manipulating you, is you get caught in the projection of how they're viewing you. And at first they're viewing you as all the wonderful qualities that truly do exist about you. And then it is very painful when they start seeing aspects of you that are not as pleasing. Maybe that triggers within you an insecurity, because if someone sees something invaluable, unworthy, bad about you, then when you were a child, then you would get neglected. They would pull their energy away from you, pull their affection away as a way to manipulate your behavior, send you away, not talk to you about what about your behavior was, that it's the behavior, let's look at what you just did, young collective, and imagine if that were done to you. Would you enjoy that? Is there a better way to go about that? Like some way of examining and helping a child to see that a behavior is not the best for themselves and not the best for the people around them. And instead, there was just a punishing type of energy that was more about shame instead of guilt. Guilt is a very healthy emotion. It lets you know, ooh, what I did, that, ooh, I can feel that I shouldn't have done that. And that helps that emotion, that uncomfortable feeling of guilt informs you on, so going forward, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's within you to make those adjustments. Shame is, I did something, and so I did something that hurt someone else, that had a negative effect. I did something maybe without thinking of how this affected others. So I am bad, not the behavior. Behavior's pretty easy to shift with guilt and realizing, oh, I don't want to do that. Shame is, I did this behavior that's destructive or hurtful or painful. And so I am hurtful, painful, like embodiment of that energy. That must mean I am a bad person. So anyway, this energy made these type of cycles in your past collective made you feel very out of control. There was a lack of direction because it feels like instead of knowing who you are and what your skills are and knowing what your challenges are, things that you're not very good at, just being very honest about who you are and who you aren't, and what you enjoy doing, and finding a purpose that creates fulfillment and satisfaction. By growing up in this kind of very painful environment, it created a need to just seek relief from painful experiences. And so it's very short term, trying to find some relief, some pleasure, something to grasp at so you don't have to feel so alone and so in pain. Whew. It feels like this is a generational issue. Whatever your brand of painful childhood experiences that have kind of shaped who you've been so far, and maybe painful experiences that you've recreated again and again as an adult in adult relationships, it feels like this is ready to clear. You're ready to let this pain be, accept, see how you have been perceiving things, see how you have been recreating the scenario, trying to find a different outcome instead of just acknowledging what's happened and accepting these aspects of who you are that have made you into the person you are today. And the person you are today is amazing. You're necessary. You're valuable. You're worthy. Your specific perspective on yourself and the world is very important. You are an extension of God. You are an extension of Source. And in such, your perspective is very necessary for the whole. Maybe part of what you're learning is that how maybe what you're learning is that how you are perceiving yourself doesn't have to be bad or good or come with all those judgments. Just being willing and open to seeing yourself clearly, create a friendliness to who you are, making friends with yourself. Maybe what this in the past has taught you growing up is to not trust others around you, and or not trust yourself, not creating a friendly way. People have not treated you growing up very friendly, very loving. They were very conditional. And so you learn to be very unfriendly with yourself. And so maybe now you're learning to befriend and create space for all of who you are. I'm a mixture of wonderful, amazing qualities And I also have really shitty behaviors and habits and reactions. There are things I really excel at and I'm good at, and there are things I'm just excuse me. And there are things that I still need to work on. There are things I might be working on the entirety of my life. I have a collection of habits that aren't very good habits. Can I accept that I'm not a solid good or bad? I'm not a monster and I'm not the hero. I'm not the victim. Maybe I'm all three. And at different times I'm more one than the other. Can I create a friendly space that makes it okay? Not that it's okay that I'm a monster because I accept who I am, not that type of acceptance, but yeah, I'm willing to see and befriend the monster in me and make space, not denying it, not trying to push away. Maybe understand why I created monster parts of me. Maybe as a protection, as a defense mechanism. The more I investigate what the connection is within me, then when I see others outside of me who are in their monster self, I'm like, ooh, that's a difficult place to be. It's a very painful place to be. It's a very scared place to be. Feels like that monster is trying to combat a protection, keep that person safe, because I know that's what my monster's energy does. So it just brings a friendliness and openness instead of, I caught you being a monster. You are a monster. Like just bringing some friendliness and notice about yourself. The more friendly you can be with yourself, the more you open up an invitation to see others as friends. So in present time, you're in the energy of clarity of belief, Ace of Swords, truth. Maybe you're ready to see the truth about things, clear thoughts, willing to be honest about how you're seeing yourself. He's got his hand on his heart. And getting that he's letting this butterfly go, another butterfly, willing to not try to hold on to this is me. This is not me. Like trying to make it something solid. So what else is going on with the collective? Okay. So it looks like you're letting go of unequal give and take. Maybe in connections, you have felt undeserving, unworthy, less than. Maybe that is part of the childhood belief system about yourself. So you have to give and give and give to be worthy of a connection. Maybe your parents, there was that withholding of affection and you had to work very hard to please them. And so you felt very unworthy, less than, and it created a pattern in your life where you feel you have to give and give and give, it's created a attachment, never doing enough, maybe attracting people who, since you didn't require them to give back, because there's always this endless well of unworthiness, and so I have to give and give and give and give into this connection and give to this person in hopes that they give something in return. If you learn, when you learn to love yourself and understand your worth, if someone withholds their affection, you're like, all right, bye. I know how to fill my own cup. I know how to love myself. And by loving myself and being friends with myself, I do not want to surround myself with people who tell me I'm only worthy if I jump through this hoop. I'm only worthy if I jump through these hoops, to prove, to keep constantly proving. There's probably, from having this type of upbringing, it created a lot of codependent behaviors, destructive for yourself and those around you. And by repeating these patterns and being unwilling to befriend yourself and acknowledge your shadow, acknowledge toxic behaviors within yourself, then it's felt like the universe or someone has been withholding your blessings. Maybe you've even made that solid, and whoever you've been giving and giving and giving to, who starved you, instead of just leaving that situation and leaving that energy and finding out why there's a draw to that energy. There's a need to make people out, be very righteous about how things happened. There are people in this world who look at me, who've had experiences with me that are really lovely. And of course, I love how they're viewing me. And I've had people who perceive me as the monster, who perceive me as all sorts of things, all sorts of very unflattering aspects. It's very tempting to surround yourself with people who only show you the pleasing aspects. But the more you make friends with yourself, the more having someone project and maybe see unpleasing aspects of you, you're already friends with those parts of you, and you create a large space for all those aspects of you, a spaciousness, a friendliness. Hello, addictive behaviors. I recognize you. You come around when I'm met with a very uncomfortable emotion that I want to avoid and numb away, somehow escape from. Hello, destructive behavior. Hey, friend, being self-sabotaging I recognize that feeling. You come in with a lot of doubt, fear of success, and worry. Hello, smugness. I recognize you. You come in a lot when I'm full of myself, when my ego has grown and I feel very righteous, that my perspective is the only perspective and it is correct. Smugness. I recognize you because I feel better than others. And it gives me a momentary feeling of power because I'm telling myself I'm better than you because maybe I got something right and you didn't. Hello, loss. Hello, my friend, loss. You bring in a lot of disappointment with you. Hello, disappointment. So not trying to push it away, not trying to project it onto someone else, but getting very friendly. Friendly with the parts of yourself that you don't find friendly. Because the more you make friends with yourself, the more space you create for yourself to be that ever-changing person. And this creates a lot of empathy for others. Your higher self is in the energy of refusing to see. Two of Swords. Hello, indecision. Hello, unwillingness to see. I recognize you. I recognize the fear of seeing the truth to protect myself. So guilt and shame doesn't come up. I realize how refusing to see is a lot around fear of seeing myself clearly, fear of seeing situations and people clearly. As I sit with it and create space with this feeling of indecision, I can feel how has a stuckness. Hello, stuckness, friend. It's like inviting a party of uncomfortable feelings. There's a need to rewire our nervous system from trying to avoid pain and discomfort and painful emotions to creating a friendliness, letting our nervous system know that it's okay to feel indecision. There's a lot of rich qualities you can learn about yourself and your world by being friends with these energies, getting close to them instead of being afraid of them. It takes a lot of bravery, a bravery of growth, being able to accept yourself and create a friendly space for all of who you are. Right now, collective, it looks like you might be feeling a bit of a lack of stability with your finances. A lack of abundance. Hello, scarcity, old friend. When I feel you, I want to stockpile. Makes me feel scarcity, makes me feel like I need to grasp, maybe even steal when at its biggest, like making sure it feels very protective, a very first chakra type of issue. As you learn to sit with these very uncomfortable feelings and rewire your nervous system, that feeling these things, feeling these very difficult, loaded emotions does not, it, instead of signaling to your nervous system that something is wrong, this is life defying, to feel these emotions in the past growing up meant that your life could very well be on the line. Withholding affection from a child, withholding love, withholding care, withholding attention, maybe punishing, very punishing behavior informs your nervous system that when you feel these emotions of not enoughness and disappointment and whatever these difficult emotions, when they arise, it's a life or death situation because it was growing up, not getting care from your caregiver. So by becoming friendly with these difficult emotions and sitting with them and not trying to escape them, we are rewiring our nervous system and saying there's space for these emotions. It's okay. It's okay to feel these things. As a matter of fact, by resisting things, you create more of attachment. Whatever you are ready to let go of, have you been trying to get it out of your energy? Have you been resisting it and pushing it? And I need to be done. I know I have been. Maybe by allowing them to stay and saying, oh, hello, loss. Hello, grief. Maybe they'll become less and less. And then when they show back up, instead of like, oh, what did I do wrong to feel this again? Instead, you're like, oh, hello, hi, loss. You're back again. By nurturing yourself, you're creating abundance. You're creating a loving space to grow for yourself and for others around you. by being willing to sit with difficult emotions and befriend all aspects of yourself and befriend uncomfortable feelings, you make yourself less emotionally manipulative. It is harder to manipulate you through your emotions because you've befriended your emotions. So if someone is around you and they want to control you and manipulate you, and they hit that wounded picture in your space that creates a I'm not enough, and then sets off a whole chain reaction of then I need to give and give and give to this person who just wounded me or re-wounded, hit a soft spot. Instead, they'll hit that wound and you'll be like, oh, hello, shame. Hey, friend who just poked a wounded spot. Are you feeling shame? What's going on with you? Do you understand what you're doing? That isn't even as important as just, oh, hello, shame. Yeah, I do have shame. I've done things I've regretted. They made me feel guilty. I learned that I don't want to behave in that way anymore. I changed my behavior. So I've evolved, I've changed. I'm not in that energy anymore. So shame, I'm not a bad person, but I get that I still have energy in my space of shame. And the more comfortable I get with these difficult emotions, it's harder and harder for people to wound you and control you and manipulate you through your emotions. You take your power back that way. All right, your challenge right now is heart chakra. Of course. So your heart chakra is here. It's the chakra that is most personal to each person. It's who you are. What makes you you? What makes you unique? What makes you so necessary and important? What makes you so beautiful? Not just the wonderful qualities, but the difficulties you've gone through, how you're learning from the difficult things that you've been through. Your challenge is to be willing to look at yourself clearly, to feel, you know, maybe you've been carrying a lot of emotional baggage with you throughout your life. And maybe when during the day, taking time to check in and meditate or be quiet and still and feel, maybe open the bravery and courage to open up one of those emotional bags. Usually they open up on themselves. You don't have to go rooting through and trying to find uncomfortable feelings. But I find that if I practice feeling those emotions and feel friendly with them on the mat, on my seat during my meditation, then when I'm out in the world and I get triggered, those emotions get activated in some way, then I've already been doing the practice. I might, for a few seconds or a few minutes, be like, get caught up in old habits, but the more I do it, the more I'm like, I can on the spot be like, oh, this is really painful. Hello, pain. Hello, heartache. Hello, loss. Hello, grief. And you bring a friendliness to yourself and maybe create some space in the situation. There are emotions backed up that have burdened you, that you've been carrying, avoiding, pushing away, trying to not feel, because your nervous system and your beliefs tell you that you are bad if you feel this way. Your life depends on not being bad, And so instead of feeling these emotions and acknowledging them and moving through them, you need to move through the emotions and allow them to change you, to help you grow. And so right now, the challenge, collective, is to let go of your burdens, to befriend them, let go of what's not yours. Maybe a burden of trying to get ground about who you are. And I'm a good person and this is who I am. And instead of like, I'm always changing. I'm always evolving. Sometimes I'm a mixture of really wonderful qualities and sometimes I'm not. Is that okay? Your challenge right now is to release victim mentality. Has there been a storyline that you've told because of so much pain and heartache that I can't trust the people closest to me? People near me hurt me. The closer people get to me, the more they hurt me. The world, the universe, people, situations, they never go my way. Like, what is that story that you're telling to yourself? Is there a way to soften it? Is there a way to still be in your truth, but not keep telling the same story, not keep making the story so solid? Is there another perspective, another way of perceiving it? Another way that creates some space for growth? Is the way that you've been telling your story a way that keeps it solid and keeps you righteous? Okay. Or do you want to tell a story in a way, the story about who you are, in a way that creates a friendliness with yourself, creates space for change, space for growth? So, all right, collective, that's your reading. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you. Take care.